Hey physics, one of the things that we've done after April vacation is we reviewed and we became experts at charges moving in fields. So what do I mean by that? Well, you know that there's two kinds of charges in the world. Charges are positive, charges are negative. And charges are really important to things like lightning, electricity, and they have the ability to interact, or another way of saying that is we can control charges by using something called electric fields. And this should be an old skill. You're like, wait a minute, I think I remember electric fields. The symbol for an electric field is an E, capital E, and they're measured in something called newtons per coulomb. That's their unit. Okay, so their symbol is E and their unit is newtons per coulomb. But the most important thing we're going to be doing on page 7 of your magnetism packet is we're going to talk about the direction that they push on charges. So when a positive charge enters into an electric field, or another way of saying that is if an electric field is created and there's a positive charge, positives get pushed in the same direction as the E field. And you may remember that I used the preposition with. And what is this document that's floating up here? It's a little bit of a reference sheet because it combines old skills having to do with remembering how do E fields control charges, and then the harder thing, the newer thing, which are magnetic fields or B fields. So let's go back and review, what do electrons do? Well, electrons and protons, on positives and negatives, are very much opposite charge. So guess what happens? You get an opposite direction force. So do you notice that the electric force, that's not iron, by the way, Fe is the electric force, is in the opposite direction to the E field. So instead of saying with, they don't go together with each other, they go against each other. So how would we use that? Well, these are called maze problems. This is page number 7 in your magnetism packet. Let's go to question number 1. Number 1, right up here. There is a 1 on your page, or there should be. And what I notice is that there's always a starting charge. And how do you use the reference sheet is you first have to observe, is the charge positive or negative? And if it's positive, you're going to use all of the rules in the positive column, right? Think of this as like a checklist or a flow chart. So is the first room that charge gets pushed into. So the positive charge gets ejected into the first room. It's like a maze or an escape room. Does it get pushed backwards or does it get pushed forwards? And you should probably know by now that it gets pushed. I'm going to try to use a little bit of a brighter color. How about a little in the pink family? It gets pushed straight ahead into the next room. Right? That's the direction of force, so that's also the direction of pathway. So what we just did is draw its path, okay? So now, depending on your awareness and maybe attendance to certain topics before vacation, let's talk about what happens when positives and negatives, instead of interacting with E fields, what if they interact with a magnetic field? So we're going to clean this up a little bit, okay? Okay, I guess I could erase the whole thing. Let's try to just do it in parts. Sorry if it's getting a little messy, okay? Okay, so now let's say, what if that charge is interacting with a magnetic field? And a magnetic field is also called a B field. Well, why don't we use M? And the reason we don't use M is because, obviously, M and mass, they stand the same. So we started to run out of letters, so a B field is a magnetic field, okay? Now, something interesting happens. As it turns out, the positives and negatives can't be sitting there at rest. They have to be moving. And what I mean by moving is I mean they have a velocity, and they cross through the magnetic field. And when you cross that magnetic field at 90 degrees, see the little 90-degree angle, something very unexpected happens. You might guess, oh, is it like electric fields? Do they go with or against? And when the moving charge, Q and V, Q means charge, V means it's moving, when this vector crosses, looks like a multiplication sign, but it means crosses the B field, what you get is a force, but the question is, what direction is the force? which way? And the answer you find with what's called the right hand rule. By the way, the name of that force is the Lorentz force, but we'll just call it FB because it's the force created by the magnetic field. So the right hand rule is kind of weird. Some of us learned it in class. It's just kind of abstract. Let's see if we can do it. So how do you figure out the direction? The first thing you do is you figure out the direction of the velocity, and you take the pointer finger of your right hand. So I'm going to write this right pointer, and you line it up. Literally point, like make your right hand into a finger gun, and point your finger maybe away from your body. And you say, well, if I try to twist that to the right, it's going to hurt my wrist. So I would like you to twist your page. Can you make it? And I don't know if I can twist everything. I think that's not supported in this app. What if we had our velocity pointing toward the top of the page by twisting our page, right? And all of a sudden you'd notice that your pointer finger is very comfortably pointing with the velocity. So can you twist your page 90 degrees to the left so that your pointer finger lines up with this velocity vector? Okay. Now, I told you to make a finger gun, which means your thumb is up in the air, your pointer finger is pointing forward. I know I can't show this through the screen of my iPad. But then I need you to do something else. I need you to stick your middle finger straight out, but it's actually going to point sideways. Or another way of saying that is it's going to point 90 degrees to your pointer finger. So it's kind of like you're pointing and giving someone the middle finger at the same time. And your thumb points in a totally different direction. Notice if your pointer finger points forward and on your right hand, your middle finger points left, and your thumb is going to point up toward the ceiling. So, which is very hard to kind of picture, but what we do is we use our pointer finger to line up with this, and we have to line up our middle finger with this vector. And depending on, again, how many classes you've been in, you may or may not know what a dot means. A dot means going up toward the ceiling. So you might have to twist your wrist. In fact, you're going to have to. You're going to have to twist your wrist so that your palm is facing up. Your middle finger points out of this paper that you're writing on. And your pointer finger still keeps pointing forward. And you're going to notice that your thumb is pointing to the right. So we used pink before. So we're going to curve this to the right because that's the direction of force. So our pointer goes with the direction we're moving, the velocity. The B field is our middle finger. And actually, it's easy to remember, middle magnet. You just have to remember that a B field is the magnet. And then your thumb is the direction of force. And that's kind of right here. Line up your pointer finger, your middle finger goes with B. And actually, it looks like I cut off the screenshot. Your thumb equals the direction of force. So in this case, it pointed to the right. So we've got 2 rooms completed, and we've got 1 more room. So the last room is another B field. But do you notice that the pink arrow and the B field are pointing the same way? So if they're pointing the same way, they are parallel to each other. And this is one weird phenomenon having to do with Lorentz's law, the force having to do with vectors of velocity and B fields, is that if they do not cross, if they're parallel to each other, then there is no force, and the charge is going to go straight ahead, and it's going to exit the maze through F. So that's a typical maze problem having to do with right-hand rules for magnetic fields, parallel for magnetic fields that are parallel, and E fields, those are easiest. Those are just, remember, if it's a positive, it goes with. If it's an electron, it goes against. Let's do a second one to wrap up this video. Here we have a negative charge. It enters into a room with an E field. It goes against the E field. Twist your paper 180 degrees upside down because there is no way to make your pointer finger of your right hand point toward the bottom of the page comfortably. Maybe you can, but it's going to stink. Don't do it. Twist your paper 180 degrees. And you're going to realize that in room number 2, right, we finished room number 1, check. We went against the E field. We used this rule over here. We now have a B field pointing into the page. The symbol X, or an X with a circle, means into the page. So you're going to have to rotate your magnet finger, your middle finger, so that it's pointing into the page. And you're going to realize that your thumb points toward E. So you might say, well, that's which way it turns. But for electrons, you take your thumb and you basically reverse it 180 degrees. And what you're going to realize is that it's going to curve to the left. But then it goes into another magnetic field that's pointing into the page. So you use your right-hand rule again, but this time you're going to have to twist your paper, and you always line up the velocity, right, the direction of the path, so that it is away from your body. Then you put your middle finger pointing in the X direction, which means into the page. You twist your wrist, and you're going to realize that it turns another 90 degrees. This time it turns toward the top of the page. Okay, so we've got 3 rooms done. Now we're back to an E field. Oh, those are so much easier. E fields, they go against the E field. So turn against the E field. And then it's parallel to a B field. And we found out that for both positives and negatives that are moving parallel, there's no force at all. So it just gets ejected, or it continues and it leaves through J. I think that's a good start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send a few people this video as well as the answer key, so you can do pages 7, 8, and 10 and submit them on Canvas with a 1-sentence summary about what's hard, what's challenging, what's easy. Are you getting some of the rooms right? Are you getting none of the rooms right? But you'll see on the answer key that I draw a pink arrow to show all of the directions.